Assaans. Obviously, he plays a career high minutes, gets his first double-figured scoring night. How important was a game like this for him, just as he's going to be counted on for you guys, depending how long Javon's out?
Yeah, huge for his confidence. He got all the tools, so I feel like he just got to go out there, play and play free, and just make the right plays, and that's what he did tonight.
How quickly have you seen him grow over these last couple months? As he's still learning and picking up things about the game?
Yeah, I mean he's soaking up knowledge like a sponge. So we just try to help him out as much as possible because we know he's going to be really helpful for us as we move forward.
Tristan, what did you guys talk about in these last 48 hours? Obviously, a huge win on Thursday, but maybe this team has been a little inconsistent at times this season. What did you guys talk about to make sure you came out here with the proper energy and focus to finish off this sweep?
Yeah, I mean, every game matters. We can't be lackadaisical with certain opponents. We got to make sure that we dig in every single time that we step on the floor, whether that's from one half to another or if that's from one game to another. So, we about to go on the road. So I feel like this little momentum that we got going right now is going to be good for us on the road too. And we just got to keep doing what we're doing.
You guys have had a lot of close games in league play, up and down, back and forth battles. How nice is it mentally to have a game like today where you kind of start to finish, put a 40-minute performance together and get a more comfortable win?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just happy for the guys that got in at the end. Guys like Jack, a walk-on that's been here for 2 years. I'm just happy for them that we kind of built that lead up for the last 3 minutes and then let them get a little time too.
Cody, you had another big dunk tonight. Could you speak on what that felt like and kind of how that lane opened up and led to the dunk?
It was just a great drag screen by Tristan. It kind of opened up the lane. They didn't help, and then just kind of react. The lane was open, so then I just went up, and it's always nice to get those kind of dunks. Crowd gets into it. Those are kind of momentum shifts. So I feel like that just helped keep the momentum up and kept us rolling.
Defensively, I think you guys held Oregon State to 3 for 17 from 3. Just was that kind of a focal point heading to this one, and just was working there?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've been struggling with that defensively, being consistent with it. If you look back at the Cal game, that's where they were killing us. So that was a huge emphasis for us, making sure that we defend the three-point line, guard the ball, and we did that tonight.
Cody, you get to lose a game in this building so far in your career. I mean, how big is the advantage of playing here that you've noticed? Like, is it something you see in the first half where teams maybe are a little tired and then they catch up in the second half, or is it later in games as they're still kind of adjusting the altitude?
I'd definitely say first and second half. Like, towards the end of the first half, you'll hear guys talking about, this altitude is no joke. So the second half, it really starts to kick in. And, we're a team that likes to get up and down the floor. So as the game goes on, I definitely see we start to get more, transition layups, transition buckets. And I think the altitude is really something that just wears down teams. And then when we go, to a lower altitude, like we're in Arizona, you could just tell guys are just flying around. Guys weren't going to get tired. So I think we really do have a great advantage with this altitude.
Tristan, only 8 turnovers for the team tonight. I know it's been tough on that front for most of the season for the team, but the last 4 or 5 games or so, we've seen those numbers start to come down. Can you put your finger on anything that the team is doing now to keep those down that maybe wasn't happening for the first part of the season?
Just making the right play. I feel like not forcing things, not trying to make a home run play right away, but just moving the ball, making the simple play, and that is going to lead to easy buckets as well.
With the wins on this road trip, do you feel like the team has grown to get back to mentally where they were before that road trip? What happened when they dropped a 3 game?
I was not locked in. You want to say it again? My fault.
Where do you think the team's at mentally now after these home wins? Finding some consistency.
I think it's just nice because we know the way we have to play, and it kind of gives us something to take on the road. The kind of energy we need to bring, because we're not going to have the crowd cheering for us like we do at home. But it just shows how good we can be defensively and offensively, and it sets the standard for when we go on the road to just carry it over and do the same things that we do here.
Tristan, we saw this a little bit in the non-conference when you guys would build a big first half lead, that the second half would be a little close in some of the scoring wise, but you guys in the first couple minutes of the second half kind of expanded a little bit more. How comforting was that, just to kind of see you guys come out with that energy to start the second half?
Yeah, that's what we've been talking about all along. So it was huge for us to finally take that step in the right direction, and we got to just continue to do so.
Anything else for the players? All right, thanks,
Appreciate it, guys.
I'm taking both of these.
got head coach Tad Boyle. Coach, you can start with an opening statement. We'll open it up for questions.
Yeah, it's another really good win. Workmanlike effort. I thought our guys were pretty dialed in on the defensive end, which is what we've been challenging them about over the last, a week and a half of practice or so. So, holding a team in the Pac-12 to three-point field goals, guarding a three-point line is something we've talked about. We haven't done a great job of, at times, but tonight we were terrific and had some really good defensive efforts. I thought, Tristan, Bilodeau and Pope and Akano were like the guys that we were really worried about on the scouting report. Bilodeau got some of his late. Tristan did a terrific job on him. Every time he was on him, I thought his post defense was like a clinic tonight. KJ was terrific on Pope, got through screens, contested every shot. And Cody was great on Akano. I mean, he really was. So, and then the other guys played really good team defense. So and that's something we've challenged our guys about as well. So, good effort. And then, we're back to 19 assists, 8 turnovers offensively, shared the ball, 6 guys in double figures. So, not a lot to complain about as a coach in this one.
Tad, you mentioned KJ's defense on Pope, 7 points under his average. KJ's made no bones about wanting to be all defense at the end of the year.
Yeah.
These kind of matchups, is he starting to take them personally?
Yeah, I think so. I absolutely does. Yeah, absolutely does. KJ's a competitor, and he's that's something he wants, and he wants to make that team. And I'm not campaigning for him. I just think, as opposing coaches look towards the end of the year at that, these are kind of performances. Pope has 11 points or 10 points on 11 shots. It's pretty good defense. So we've got multiple guys. Obviously Hadley wasn't in there tonight, but he's a good defender. Tristan showed what he can do tonight. Eddie's does a good job. So and Cody's a terrific defender. We have the ability to be a great defensive team, and we're working towards that. And now we got to go do it on the road. That's the ultimate challenge.
That first ever double figures game for Assaans. Obviously, career high minutes as well. I mean, how encouraging is a performance like this for a young player like that?
Yeah, it's great. Number one, I'm so happy for him because you see day to day how hard Assaans works. You see how selfless that he is. He's all about the team. He's not about himself, and he just works his tail off. And to see him have success, his growth has come incrementally in practice. This is the first time he's really experiencing it in a game. A lot of it's because of the fact that he doesn't get extended minutes. He's in there for a minute or two, and then he's out. And he's in for a minute or two, and then he's out. And it's hard to get into a rhythm that way. Tonight he got some extended minutes. I thought he rim rolled great. He caught the ball. He finished. He rebounded. He defended. Assaans, I've said this. Assaans, Jope, and Bangat Dak are both going to be really good players in this program as big, long, athletic guys. And I think you saw just a glimpse of that from Assaans tonight. And BD's going to be there right with him. I really believe that. It might take a little bit of time for both of them, but that's what it's all about.
Coach, on this home trip, y'all rattled off quite a few wins. Where have you seen this team progress as opposed to that road trip?
Well, I think defensively. Our energy on defense, our commitment to it, and the guys talking about it in huddles. We got back offensively, kind of back on track as well. So now it's time to take it on the road. Now it's time to say, okay, can we sustain it? Can we learn from that road trip from the Arizonas and at Cal and take it to the Washingtons and to Utah? We'll find out here in a couple weeks, but we got to be ready to go by Wednesday night.
Tad, this is the best home start for the program in 55 years.
Yep.
You've talked a lot about defending home court and taking advantage of the altitude and the pace of play, you guys like that. What about this team in particular has been so effective in winning games here? Yeah,
I think the way they play, the way they share the ball, the way they move the ball, I think it's really allowed our fans to enjoy it. I think our fans have been great. For the most part, it's we always play a few when over Christmas break or when the students aren't here, but. I think it's a function of the way we play and also altitude and wearing people down and just the confidence that they play with at home. And now we have to transfer that confidence to the road because it's no different. It's just a different venue, but it's people cheering against you versus cheering for you. And to me, that should motivate you just as much.
What update can you give on Hadley? Do you think you'll have him?
I don't know. Yeah, his knee was sore. It was sore yesterday. It was sore today. And you know, as a coach in today's day and age, you have no say. You have no opinion on whether kids can play or not. It's, you know, a lot of times it's up to them. Sometimes it's up to the doctors. Sometimes it's a combination of both. So I don't have any update. We'll see.
Tad, you always talk about 11 or less turnovers. Obviously, you
Yeah.
mentioned only 8 tonight. Anything specific from this game that you can take on the road in that regard, or is it just simply?
Yeah, I think our guys they're making more simple plays. You know, some of the silly ones we had. You know, we had a silly one. Obviously, Joe's at the end there. You know, was silly. Eddie tried to thread the needle. You know, to Tristan one time, and you know, just it's getting rid of the silly ones. And you know, against Oregon, the 2 that we stepped out of bounds in the first half. You know, without those, just absolutely mental midget plays. We're less than 11 against Oregon. So, yeah, I think it's just making simple plays and being aware of taking what the defense gives you, and we're making progress in that area too over the last 2-3 weeks, I think.
With Javon Hadley out, just how nice is it for you to be able to plug in a guy like Luke O'Brien?
It's nice, yeah. Luke's a senior, and having both Luke and Julian, and then having a guy like Assaans step up like he did tonight, and in his minutes, it was fantastic. So it's really the quality depth. You know, some teams say they're deep. We have quality depth. We have depth with experience. You know, certainly 1 through 7, 1 through 6 tonight with Javon out, but. Yeah, it was good.
Julian still didn't shoot great tonight, but
Yeah.
he seemed more in the flow
Yeah.
of things. He had
Yeah.
5 assists, I think it was. Did you feel like he seemed more himself?
Yeah, he's getting there. He's getting there. It's going to take, again, he needs practice time, and it's a short week. We only get 2 days of practice. We're off tomorrow. So, but yeah, he's coming along. He's a veteran guy. The last thing I worry about with Julian is his shot, shooting the ball. And he hadn't shot the ball well here since he's come back, but that'll come. It'll come with time and reps and getting back in the flow of things. But I thought his floor game tonight was great. You know, he took care of the ball, like you said. He had 5 assists. Julian's coming along too.
Coach, 6 guys in double figures tonight. I know you talked a little bit about after the USC game, but how important is that balance, not having to rely on just 1 or 2 or even 3 guys, and how important that is to where you guys want to go?
I think it's key, because when teams prepare for us, it's not like, oh, we got to just shut down this guy, and then we're good. You know, there's a lot of teams you say, okay, they got a big 2, or they got 2 guys, or they got 3 guys. And very few teams have 5 or 6 guys that can get double figures any night. We're one of them, and that makes us difficult, I think, to prepare for. And that's what I want our players to understand. It's going to be somebody else's night on different nights, and you have to understand that. But you can still chip in and be a part of it. But the 19 assists and 8 turnovers, that's probably the statistic I'm most pleased with, looking at this stat sheet, in addition to the defensive field goal percentage and the rebounding margin.
Anything else for Coach?
Thank you.
All right.